Hey, hello everyone and welcome in a new video. Today in this video I'd like to show you and to challenge you for a typical practical exercise named DockerCoin, and this is really interesting to do that. And in the next video I will ask you to do that but with Kubernetes. So the purpose today is to discover DockerCoin and to tackle this DockerCoin stuff with Docker Compose and try to use it and try to deploy it inside Kubernetes. So let's go, and just for the history, DockerCoin is just how I have begun to use and to discover Docker the first time 10 years ago. So let's go. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss the next video, like and comment this one. And yes, before, the purpose about this practical exercise with DockerCoin is to begin with to deploy an architecture, a little architecture, a demo architecture inside Kubernetes, but to well understand how you can move from Docker Compose to Kubernetes. So this is a basic that you need to know, and you have all in your hands to do that. So you have deployment, of course, you have services, and you can do it directly with the CLI, we will see that, or with your manifest, of course, and it's better to do that with manifest, but it's really easy and quick to do that directly with the CLI because all is possible. Why this is really interesting to do that? Of course, this is because DockerCoin use a core concept and a ready demo concept about microservices app with a little database based on Redis, and aside of it a little front end and some backend tools. And this is really interesting to have it, and we have a little API inside it. Of course, you can find the Docker Compose easily. We will just deploy it with Docker Compose in this video, in the second part of this video. And the global purpose of this practical exercise is to move it in the next video inside Kubernetes. So let's go. We will discover the architecture, and you can easily understand that. We have a front end here, and the purpose about this application, DockerCoin, is about inside the world of coin or cryptocurrencies, but this is just a joke, and yes, a joke about the coin world. And the purpose is to provide or to simulate a miner and to provide a web UI to see if we mine many coin or little coin, and we can scale some component and to increase the miner level. So the first is here, we have a web UI. So if we take in the order the things, the first thing is we use a random number generator, RNG, and this is the first step. So that generates a random value, and after that you have the hash value. Here this is the hasher, and they provide each component, so RNG component or hasher, have a little web server to provide, like an API, to provide their value, so the random value or the hash of a post value. And between that and to to handle the random value and to hash this random value, what we have a worker, and the worker is connected to a little database named Redis, based on Redis and named Redis. And what is the workflow? So the worker send a get to RNG to get a random value. After that, the worker just posts this value to the hasher to hash this random value, and after that, he stores this value inside the Redis. And of course, we need and we want to display how many coins that we have, and we can handle each second. And to do that, we have the web UI here on the port 80. So here, I just put each port for each application. So you can see the port 80 for the web UI, of course, the port 80 for the API RNG, the port 80 for the post, but on the API hasher, and of course the Redis is the port 6379. Okay, so now it's time for the demo. So the purpose is to have this kind of web UI, and you can go inside. Here inside your in the description you can clone the repository. You have in the 23 directory you have all what you need to do that. So if you go here, you can see we have some notes, and in the notes, and just before I run our k8s 10, not to have a cluster today, just to have a virtual server, and at the beginning just say no, I don't want to have k8s because I just want to have a virtual server, so I can go inside it, and the purpose is just to run it. Okay, so after that, what we need to have inside it, the first thing is to install Docker and ensure that we start the Docker daemon. And to do that, we use the curl to install Docker. We want to ensure that our background user is inside the Docker group for the system part, and we ensure that we start Docker. Okay, that takes few seconds, and after that we need to use Docker Compose. And to do that, this is not a fresh version of Docker Compose, but I think it's not a problem. We will see. I can copy that to install Docker Compose in our path and ensure that Docker Compose is executable. So that takes a few seconds. And after that, we will clone the repository about Jerome Petazzoni. So I don't say that, but really big thanks to Jerome Petazzoni. You can see him here. And Jerome is a former and developer advocate and developer at Docker. And now Jerome works from NX. NX is a big not a big company, but big by its level, to provide some learning and support about Kubernetes and Docker also, and maybe with Proxmox too. So very big thanks to Jerome Petazzoni, and let's go now. I think it's good, I hope. So yes, now we install Docker Compose. Okay, and now I think it's good. I can just go exit and enter again inside the virtual machine to be sure to be in the Docker group. And now I think if I use Docker PS, it's okay. Okay, so now I can git clone the repository from Jerome Petazzoni here. And we can go inside it, and inside this repository you can find a specific folder for DockerCoins, of course. So we are in training, so container training, and inside it you have DockerCoins. And now you have the Docker Compose, of course, to deploy all the stuff, Docker Compose.yml, and you can find here, so the version is now in new version of Docker Compose. If you use a new version of these tools, you can remove the version here because it's useless, totally useless to have it inside the Docker Compose file. After that, we describe all services. So the first one is RNG, and we build it with RNG directory, and the port that we want to expose is the port 80 on the port 81. And after that, the same thing for Asher. And with Asher, we have a specific directory to build Asher. And we expose the port 80 on the port 82. And after that, the web UI. And the web UI, we want to mount a volume for the web UI. And we remap the port 2 with the port 80, so with the port 8000. And after that, we need to have our database. So this is a Redis database, and by default, this is the port 6379. And you can see that we don't need to expose this port because each application, and we will see that later, but each application can directly resolve the DNS directly with the name of the service. So Redis, Web UI, Asher, Worker for this one. And you can see Worker has no exposition port, so it's normal. And now we can use Docker Compose up, Docker Compose up -d, and yes, client version too old, minimum version API. Okay, so we can just change the version about the Docker Compose. Where is my Docker Compose? Is here. So I can, for example, put a new version of Docker Compose. I don't know, maybe this one. No. Which version I can choose? I can go on my we can exit this one, Docker Compose, and release like this one, and we can check. Oh yes. So this is a big bump. Okay, so I can remove so on USR local bin the Docker Compose binary. Okay, yes, I want to remove this one with a sudo. Okay, and now I can install it here. Normally, no, it doesn't work. Oh, why? And now I think we have the package inside the Debian. Maybe we have the package. So sudo apt install Docker Compose. Okay, yes, we have it. Perfect. Take a few seconds again. And after that, we can just edit our Docker Compose to not have any warnings about the version of this Docker Compose file. So that takes a few seconds again. And it's okay. Okay, so now I can edit the Docker Compose file .yml like here. I can remove that, I think. And now Docker Compose up -d again. The US. Ah, yes. I need to use. Yes. Like that. Command not found. Why? Yeah. This is the new command line about Docker Compose, sorry. Okay, so now that takes few seconds again, because we need to download, like you see, the Redis. So Redis is up now, I think. And after that, the build of each component. So we need to build the RNG, we need to build the hasher, we need to build the worker also, and we need to build the web UI. But don't take care about that, but don't be worried, it's really quick because the tools are really simple. We will see that in the next video to deploy it inside Kubernetes. But okay, we are on the web UI, like you can see here. So the web UI is in Ruby, and the other tools, part of the other tools is in Python, based on Flask, for example, to have a little web server to make an API. Okay, so we are on RNG, on worker, RNG. Maybe we parallelize some stuff. Okay, we have the worker. So we have the hasher, the RNG, the web UI, the worker. So it seems to be good. I can check with Docker k8s. So all things seems to work. And as we exposed the port, I don't remember, the port 8000 here on all interface, that means even if I am inside the virtual server, I can use this IP. This is why I choose that. The IP of my web server, my virtual server, and I can put here the port 8000. And normally it works like you see. Take a little bit of time. It works, and you can scale up. I don't remember the command line. You can scale up because now I use Kubernetes. You can use Docker Compose scale, I think. Yeah, maybe. One argument. So we want we want to scale the worker. If I remember well, not the hasher, yeah, the worker, and we want to scale invalid scale specifier, maybe just worker, like that, and normally the number invalid scale specifier worker. Sorry, worker, okay, like that. Specifier scale. I don't remember the. Dry run, no depth, no, not Docker Compose scale. Service equal replica. Okay, equal here. And we want to have, for example, 10 workers, and you can see we scale. So we don't need to have a Kubernetes to scale, like you see. And if I check again, like here, we have some Docker coins. And if you check your web UI, it's okay, we scale, and we are a little bit rich with our Docker coins. So now the purpose, take a break, take all elements inside the Docker Compose file, and take and have a look on this architecture and try to do that. So I can give you some element about these things, but so what you need to do, you need for each component, for example here, you need to deploy, so you need to have a deployment for RNG, you need to have a deployment for hasher, for worker, for Redis, for web UI, okay? And after that, each deployment with a web server. So for example, this one, and this one. So no, this is a database, but we need to expose the database with a service too. And this one, you need to have a service. So for that, you need, of course, to expose kubectl expose. Remember that. Expose the RNG, expose the hasher. Don't need to expose the worker because the worker expose nothing, totally nothing. You need to expose the Redis, and you need to expose also the web UI. And don't take care about the name. The name and by default the configuration of each component. For example, if the worker needs to connect to RNG, you just use the DNS RNG. So that needs what? That needs to, and that means that your service needs to be named RNG, because remember, for service, by default, the name of the service provides a DNS. So the worker can use the DNS provided by this service to give access to the RNG deployment. And the same thing for Azure. Azure, the default name of Azure is the name of the service if you expose this deployment, and worker can use it, and etc. for each one. And if you want to have more details and another way to understand that, you can just cut the Docker Compose file, like here, and you can see here. Here is the name of the service at each time, like that. And you can use directly, so to use directly the image and not to build it inside the Kubernetes, you can use gpetazzo RNG image. For example, Docker pool, I think gpetazzo slash RNG, like that, RNG. And if we pull that, normally repository, oh, maybe just an error, gpetazzo RNG. Or I have a better solution because I already did that. You can use directly here the image. Priximo is my username inside the Docker registry. So you can, for example, use Docker pool, and you can download that. So with Kubernetes, you can directly use in your deployment the name of this image to deploy this image, and this one for each component. But remember, the service name needs to be RNG or Azure or Web UI if you want to use it, or Redis, to be sure to have the DNS. So that's it for today, and see you for the correction of this practical exercise in the next video. Bye bye.